Hello, hello. This is Yuri with Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving Podcast. And then with me today, I have Adam Lowy with Move for Hunger. He's been on our podcast before, but I'd like to have him again. Thank you so much for joining us again, Adam.
Thanks for having me.
So it's been a while since we talked, a little bit more than a year, I would say at this point. So tell me, what has been going on the past year?
Man, it's been busy. 2024 was our 15th anniversary year. So
Wow, that's
we were
awesome.
really focusing on some big goals, trying to expand our network and really move the needle forward for communities that need it. Last year
Yeah,
also was the highest rates of food insecurity in this country that we've ever seen. And again, I've been doing this for 15 years. Food insecurity has never been as high as it is today. You can blame politics, you can blame the wars overseas, you can blame the economy. There's a number of reasons why folks
what would you
are
attribute
insecure.
that to?
It's a combination. I mean, people hungry is really, hunger is a symptom of poverty, right? If
Right,
people don't have enough money to feed themselves, and why can't people feed themselves? They're not making enough wages. Housing is too expensive. The price of food is too high. Insurance is too expensive, right? All
right.
of these things inflate, and then people are making these really challenging decisions, whether to put food on their table for their families or to pay rent. And really, nobody should be in that position. So we've not only been working to just increase awareness about these issues, because food insecurity really touches every single community, regardless of the wealth, the status there. It's there. It's your friends, it's your neighbors, it's your colleagues, it's kids in school. No one should go to bed hungry. Now, at the same time, we've been really excited to kind of grow the network. Over 1,260 moving companies now working with us across
Sure.
the US and Canada.
I'd like to take at least a little bit of credit for that because I do talk about you a lot.
And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more.
Well, first of all, frankly, I coming from the fundraising industry, being doing fundraising for nonprofits, which is where I started before I got anywhere near moving. I was well familiar with a lot of the organizations that were doing important work such as yours. So between, Habitat for Humanity and some of the other organizations like that, and UNICEF and Red Cross and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that we've done fundraising for when I was doing it. The importance of these organizations is, cannot be discounted by any means. And the fact that you're doing that and you're involving people specifically in the moving industry, I think it's a great thing. I think once again, it's great to be able to separate your moving company from your competition and partnering up with charities such as yours. I think it's a absolutely wonderful way to do that because, frankly, the selling point is amazing. You can just say, "Hey," and by choosing our moving company, you get to support Move for Hunger.
And that's the point, right?
Yeah,
That the goal is make it easy to help people.
yeah,
And I mean, you
absolutely.
know this industry really well, Yuri. I mean, I'm a fourth generation mover. My great grandfather started the moving company 101 years ago now. And,
Sure.
growing up in this space, it's a lot of family owned generational businesses, good people.
Yeah,
And our industry
absolutely.
doesn't get the best reputation out
No.
there, right? Because when moving makes the news, it's because someone broke something or someone lost something or someone wasn't on time or all this global
Or
household
they
goods
didn't do a
craziness
good
that's
job
happening
moving
right now.
some senator's son or something, right?
Yeah. So like, I think this is an opportunity for our industry to shine and honestly do something that isn't hard, right? For Move for Hunger, it's about we're in the home anyway. We're giving folks that opportunity to do something good in a really easy and free way. Donate your food when you move. But more than that, our movers are getting involved in bigger ways and helping us recover large amounts of food that otherwise would go to waste. I mentioned last year was our 15th anniversary year. We did 15 million pounds of food last year,
Wow.
delivered to over 500 food banks and pantries across the US and Canada. 15 million pounds of food is about a quarter of everything what we've done over the past 15 years combined. So It was a
Wow.
big year. We're raising the bar because, frankly, we need to. We're seeing food insecurity on the rise, but also there's all of this food that's available, right? 38% of the food produced in this country ends up in landfills. And we're getting calls daily from big companies, some of the company's largest, food companies saying, hey, we've got trail loads of product that can't be sold in the grocery store, even though it's perfectly good, but maybe it's approaching expiration. Or maybe the grocery store
Right.
rejected the load. Or maybe
Right.
the food is left in the farm and there's no one there to pick it. We're teaming
Right.
up with a cleaning organization to get it picked
Right.
up. Trailer loads of food every day is really what we're focused on getting delivered now to the folks that need it most.
No, that's great to hear that because, like I said, I think it's wonderful work that you guys are doing, and the fact that I can be at least a little bit involved in the process. It's great. I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing that because at the end of the day, we all want to make this world a better place, or at least I'd like to think that most of
Yeah,
us want to make this world a better place. Organizations such as yours absolutely take us that way, and like I said, in this particular case, the movers on people's homes every single day. So if we can put something out there, and if it helps a little bit, helps the process a little bit, that's gonna make sure that the children don't go hungry, or there's that the situation changes. Start in US and then go global, right?
Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media, and they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video.
We have so many, I don't even know how many million people we have right now in the United States, but it's a huge number, and any percentage of that that's going hungry, it's a sad thing, and it's something that should not happen. And it's definitely something that we need to take care of here at home, and then be able to help elsewhere once we feel that the problem has been a lot less of a problem on the home front, and being able to use moving companies, like I said, that are in people's homes every single day to help ease that, on a grander scale. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful cause. Like I said, going back to what I talk about building your moving company's brand, anything like this helps your brand to have a sounder footing because you're doing something that goes beyond your company, beyond moving, beyond your community, and the things that you're doing, it's on a much larger scale that allow us to frankly feel good about ourselves too, as people that are affiliated with the industry. But it also allows people that are using the moving companies to feel good about their place in the world, and even though they're technically not really doing much per se, right? But altogether, the people that are even, they got 5 cans, 10 cans, of food, whatever the
doesn't
case
take
may be.
much.
It doesn't take much if everybody does it.
And listen, I'm looking at you. We're having this conversation. I see the moving sales professionals right over your head there. I mean, you understand sales, and in
Yeah,
this business of moving, I know sales is a key driver for a lot of people, and there's a lot of money that's being spent to drive those
absolutely.
sales, whether
Yeah,
it's social media or marketing or advertising or et cetera. But at the end of the day, in our industry, at least from my perspective, it comes down to relationships, right?
absolutely. Yeah,
You don't get to have a company that lasts 100 years, even 10 years, if you can't build trust in that market, in that community. And referrals are going to drive a lot of those sales. The majority of the sales for the most successful companies in our industry come from referrals. Why do people refer a company? Because they're good. What makes a company good? Certainly their service, but also their connection to the communities where people live and work. If you're the moving company that's holding the food drive, if you're the moving company that's doing that one thing different, and this isn't even just about Move for Hunger, if you are the moving company that is involved in your community and you show up not only in times of need, But even in times just, throughout it doesn't take much to help people. And a lot of movers are doing that, but a lot of movers aren't. And I think when you think about where you're investing your time and your dollars, um, to drive business, to drive connection, to drive community, Move for Hunger is one of those easy things that you can be involved with while also helping your business, right? Doing good is good for business. I've always believed that. And, when we launched Move for Hunger 15 years ago, it was just an idea. And we saw very quickly how it resonated with our customers. That's not why we did it, but we saw it. We saw people, oh my God, you're gonna let me donate my food? You guys are the best. Like that's the feeling you want to have, that
It's the
connection.
message, right? It
Yeah.
sends a very powerful message to be able to do something good without, I mean, in this case, without technically really lifting a finger. You have people that are doing something that are good for other people, and it's good to be affiliated with that. It's good to have, to have that kind of a feel that you're doing something more than just moving somebody. That
Yeah.
there's another purpose, and it's a higher purpose because you're actually helping people. I mean, obviously, like I said, I have children. So first thought that I think of is children going hungry, and it's something that it's a thought that doesn't leave me, right? So it's when you have your own kids, you can't imagine yourself in that situation. You can't imagine having your family in that situation. So if you can help that by simply being affiliated and simply getting people to do that a little bit on every single move that you do, it's a powerful message, and you're actually doing something to help these families, and it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I grew up watching my dad and my uncles run their moving company, and this was before I even considered getting into charity. And like I think at the time I didn't appreciate what they were doing, right? I don't think they were doing it to be marketers, but
Sure.
they were doing it for the right reasons. But now 15 years into my own company, I'm seeing all these connection points. But back then, it was all right. Well, it's the holiday season, and dad and uncle they left part of the warehouse available for Toys for Tots to store their stuff, or they were donating boxes to the local schools to help the teachers move in and out in between, school years, or they were donating, to another group that was singing to, people that were in senior living facilities. And, like a lot of boxes. And like, Dad, why are you doing all those boxes? Like, it doesn't cost much to donate some boxes to people that are going to use them for good. And like, it was one of those things that just kind of like stuck. It's like, it doesn't cost much. It didn't cost much time. It didn't cost much money, but I'm sure it paid their business back 1,000 times. And
Sure.
if your listeners take nothing from this, this is less about Move for Hunger and more about just get involved, right? We'd love to be involved with you as Move for Hunger, but there are so many causes and so many little ways that doesn't cost much, right? Take those steps, make those connections. Don't and do it for the right reasons, right? Like if you're doing it genuinely, it will pay back. Certainly there's things that you could do from a marketing perspective, but if you're genuine in the relationships that you're actually trying to make in the community, people will know that and people will love you for it and people will choose you over others because of that.
Right. And I think that's important. Like just sending a genuine good message. And it's once again, guys, you are in these communities. If you want to last in these communities, you want to embed yourself in them. You want to be involved to the point where uh anytime there's anything good happening in the community, you're part of it. And by
Absolutely.
becoming that, people in the community will recognize that, and they will frankly choose your company because of it, despite your pricing and whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, it's always, for some people, it's always going to be about the price, right?
Yep.
But for other people, it's going to be about the connections with the company. It's going to be about the people, us that talk to them, right? And it's going to be about the things that the company does. The certain actions speak louder than words. And if you're there in that community and you're constantly on the forefront of whatever is happening. It's a local. fair, it's a local sports team, it's a local whatever, it's something that you're doing. Like if there's is there Habitat for Humanity in your area, and they're putting up a house, and you send a couple of movers there in their in shirts, your company shirts, to go and help out, to build up or whatever. Right. Or you put or you're helping take away the debris or something. Just put your truck with your logo right there next to that house being built by Habitat for Humanity. And you're part of helping, like, figure out, how you can help them as well.
Yeah.
That gets out. People see it. It's the same thing as seeing your trucks drive into town, and people constantly say, "I saw your truck," right? But one thing is when somebody saw your truck doing an actual moving job. The other thing is when they saw your truck doing something good for the community and not just moving somebody per
You,
se,
t-
right?
you
It's
talk you
a
talk about trucks, right?
right,
We've wrapped 35 different moving trucks across the country. Movers truck, it's their truck, it's their information, their website, their phone number, but
sure.
right across the whole truck it says donate your food when you move. And you know what? They get calls for that. And when they're holding food drives, they use those trucks. And when they show up for something in the local news, they use that truck. It's getting people's attention, right? We mentioned the boxes that my dad said, "Oh, these don't cost much." People like they kudos to them. Our box has always been the white. It was a white box. It was a tote. It said Lowe's on it. The tote, you didn't have to actually use tape. It was super easy, right? Everyone wanted it, but no one came to the moving company saying, "Hey, can we get more boxes?" They'd say, "Can we get Lowe's boxes?" Everybody, again, I've lived here my whole life, generations. Everyone likes the Lowe's box. It's a moving box. It's a tote, but because of the way they branded it, because of how many they gave out, it became something in our community that people knew. And then when I started Move for Hunger, we got to change that brand a little bit, and we added the Move for Hunger logo onto that box, and people started to kind of uh, really associate our organization with the good work that Lois had already been doing. And it really helped elevate us at a time that was very early on in our organization's history.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, you become you become part of the community big time. It makes a huge difference, of course. So we can talk about this stuff all the time, but obviously, it's great to have you on, Adam. I'm sure we'll have you on again. And once again, if you guys are doing anything in Maryland, please let me know.
We
I
probably will be. I'm not exactly sure when,
Yeah,
but we'll likely
let
pick
me
something.
know. I'd like to be involved. So
Absolutely.
once again, thank you very much, and guys, we'll go make sure we have all the links and everything else under this podcast for Adam and for Move for Hunger. Please get involved, help make this world a better place. And like I always say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll talk again soon.